Hello everyone, welcome to Morning Coffee. Thank you so much for tuning in. So this is going to be a general energy reading for your Thursday, July 9th, yeah? 2020. Please keep in mind that time is an illusion and energies are fluid. So just because this is a reading dated for the 9th of July, that does not mean that it absolutely has to resonate for you at that time whenever you're guided to watch this reading. And it resonates, then that is the message for you in that moment. Yes, so as you can see, I'm wearing my magician t-shirt. I did laundry yesterday. Isn't she pretty? I love this shirt. I love this shirt. And so I'm going to have to just let my head get cut off because I want, or at least my hair, because I want you guys to see. I want you to be able to see the shirt. It's a dope shirt, right? Okay. First of all, you gotta bear with me. I've been sleeping so hard lately, and it's interesting because I'm still getting up at the same time. Like, yes, the ass crack of dawn. I wake up normally like a few minutes before 6, maybe 15, maybe like on average it's somewhere between 15 and 5 minutes before 6 a.m. right? And at first, when I first got here to Puerto Rico, I would wake up and just be like so ready to go. But now it seems the mood has changed. It may very well be that you know, it might be have a lot to do with the moon phase. We are currently in a waxing moon now because we just had the full moon a few days ago and an eclipse. So actually maybe it's the eclipse also. Or maybe I'm just doing a lot of there's a lot going on while I'm asleep. And so I'm not feeling so rested when I wake up, but yet I'm still waking up at the same time. So it's like, that's not an issue, right? But also, I want to share something. So I guess this is a little bit of story time. So for y'all that don't want to listen to story time, get ready to timestamp. But I had a really interesting dream last night. And the main thing that was happening in the dream was I was part of this play. And this is actually part of the dream is kind of how is like a recurring dream I used to have when I was a kid. But it's not this specific, but it's this theme, okay? I was in a play and I didn't know my lines and I couldn't find my script. And we were coming up to the point where we were going to run my part. And I had like a bit role. I wasn't like a main character, but I had a role that was pretty pivotal for one scene, and I had a number of lines and I didn't know any of them and I couldn't find a script and blah blah blah. But then I was with this group and we were doing things, rehearsing, I guess, and all of a sudden we were in a building, right? And all of a sudden there was this flash, and it was daylight, right? So it's not like, you know, it was a car driving by or like lightning or something. No, it was a visible flash in like broad daylight. You know, it was well lit. You know, yes, we were in a building, but the sunlight was really shining and lighting up a lot. Okay. Flash of light. And I'm like, what was that? Did you guys see that? And I go running outside and I look, and there are these massive spaceships. And I mean, like, I wish I could explain to you what these looked like. It's going to be so difficult for me to do so because it was such an intricate thing. It's literally like they had built a city in a mountain or in some rocks or something, and they just took it from out of there and just lifted up and flew through space. You know, it literally looked like a city in a massive ship. It was the coolest thing ever. And I remember in the dream seeing this and realizing what was happening and being so freaking excited. Like, yes, oh my God, they're here. Like, I don't know who they were. I didn't see any of the beings. All I saw was their ships. Yes, their ships. There were multiples. There was one big one. There was one that looked bigger than the rest. Maybe it's just because that one was closer, because that one was literally like, was flying right by. And I was in like a city setting, right? So I couldn't see much of the horizon. So I could only see like, I mean, I saw enough, but I couldn't really see everything. And there were multiples. There were multiple ships. Some of them, some of them looked smaller. I just feel like they looked smaller because they were further away. You know what I mean? And then there were also these creatures that were flying with them too, almost like dragon-like creatures, kind of similar to like Falkor, I guess you could say, from the Neverending Story, but it didn't have a dog's face. I don't remember really seeing much of the details of those flying serpent-like beings. I just remember seeing them flying around these massive spaceships, this mothership, I want to call it, that I saw. And then I went back to the group that I was with, trying to figure out what my part was and what my lines were. I don't quite get, I mean, that symbolism, that part of the symbolism is kind of like I'm playing a role, which makes sense. We're playing roles here on Earth. But then also I'll say that when I was younger and I was performing more, that was like a recurring dream of mine. It was, either having a show to do, and a lot of the times it was like I would be dancing, because I was mainly a dancer when I was a kid. But I did do like musical theater and stuff, and I went to Stage Door Manor. Shout out to Stage Door Manor. Which is a musical theater sleepaway camp, which I absolutely loved that place. It was so much fun. And actually, Stage Door Manor was the only sleepaway camp that I actually wanted to go to, and I definitely could have stayed all summer. But anyway, but I would, when I was younger, I would have these dreams where I would either have a dance routine, or I would have a show, or I would have a song to sing, and what's my role? What's my part? What's the choreography? What are the lyrics? What's my line? I don't, But see, I had stage fright when I was a kid. Pretty bad stage fright. Like, so bad that when my first show, the first dance class that I took, I was 5 years old. I was in kindergarten, and it was an African class, and I was the only boy in the class. And the whole dance, you guys, the whole dance was centered around me. And I could not go on stage. I refused. I had my outfit on and everything, and I just could not do it. So anyway, I'm not really sure what that part of the dream was about. But I do remember those spaceships, man, and they were fucking awesome. Okay, story time's over. Cool. So, 7 minutes, 35 seconds. Let's get into this here and see what we've got for today, yeah? Cool. Hi, Spirit. Please make me a clear channel for the collective at this time. Please bring forward the best messages to serve the highest good of all involved for our Thursday, July 9th, 2020. Thank you so much, Spirit. All right, guys, I'm going to give this 5 shuffles, but I saw a number of different colors. First, I saw yellow for the solar plexus. Then I saw orange for the sacral chakra. And then I saw purple for the third eye, and Spirit is saying crown chakra. I don't even know where to start with that. So I'm just going to shuffle 5 times, and we'll see what comes out. 1. Yellow is action, is like the sun, is illumination, is willpower. 2. Orange is the emotional body, your sacral chakra, sacred sexuality. 3. Purple is wisdom, understanding, higher intellect, knowledge. To represent your third eye and or your crown chakra. But the purple I saw is a really deep purple. So that's like your third eye right here. I don't know what to make of that, guys. 4. Wisdom, understanding, intellect is coming through. Okay, you might be gaining some hindsight or maybe foresight in terms of what might be bothering you emotionally. You might be seeing the effects of your willpower, the effects of your use of your willpower playing out in your life, and trying to deal with the emotions surrounding that. Oh, that is going on for the Divine Masculine Collective right now, huh? Hey, by the way, After Hours is lit, y'all. Over on Patreon, man. That's all I'm going to say about it. It's lit. 5. So, entonces, what do we got here? What's going on today? For the whoa! Oh, okay. Oh, jeez. Yo, cards just be flipping the fuck out today, man. Oh, whoa, okay. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Devil. You also have the Magician, which has come out face up. Oh, it's just my chapstick. And already what I'm kind of feeling is like, this is a situation in which you are needing to release yourself from this devil energy here. Now, I was just shifting the deck and the Moon came out. What I'm feeling like so far is that somebody here is dealing with taking their power back, owning the lessons that they've learned from this devil energy. Hanged Man. Okay. The Hanged Man is a change in perspective. I really do feel like someone is releasing or is about to release themselves from some sort of toxic illusion. And to be quite honest, you guys, Spirit's being a little cutthroat here with this, because with the Moon and the Magician, this is saying that you've been lying to yourself about the fact that you don't have the power to do something. Straight up and down. And at this point, I think you don't have a way of denying it any longer. Oh boy. Yeah. Yep. So, you have a number of cards here. Where do I want to start, though? Okay, so on the Magician and the Hierophant, you also have the... I'm sorry, on the Magician and the Moon, you have the Hierophant and the Ace of Wands. I might sneeze. But here... Ooh, excuse me. Here in this situation, you guys, I feel like the Hierophant is representing a lesson learned. Because look, the Hierophant has a key here on this card, right? And this is a crow. And crows tend to symbolize the end of something, right? They are symbols of death, which is really just a transformation. I know when I was in Brooklyn, before I moved here to Puerto Rico, the crows were all over the place around my apartment. I lived, ironically enough, I lived across the street from a church, and they would love to perch on the top of the church and just make all kinds of noise, like doing the absolute most, okay? I even saw one day, I was up on my roof, I saw a crow fighting a hawk. Obviously, it was for territorial reasons, but actually it was pretty significant for me at that point. Because the message I got from that was kind of like a, look, I don't need no more higher perspective to see nothing, okay? I got it already. Get the fuck up out of here with your higher perspective. Hold on a second. Sorry, I wanted to find a lighter so I could light some sage. But, okay, so here with the Ace of Wands and the Hierophant, on top of the Magician and the Moon, I really feel like this is speaking to the fact that someone has received some sort of inspiration, or an official, you've officially received a sufficient amount of knowledge for you to take up this wand of inspiration and cut yourself free and move in a different direction. Okay, because the Hierophant, yes, I say all kinds of icky stuff about the Hierophant a lot of the time. But one of the other meanings of the Hierophant is teaching and learning. And we are in creator school here, okay? So the Hierophant energies, even though it represents situations like institution and, you know, universities, law and government, not necessarily law, but like government, the institution of government, and conformity and social norms, social conditioning, and religion and all that, indoctrination and all that stuff. To be quite honest, all of that is really necessary to a certain degree, to a certain extent, so that we can learn certain lessons from them. And once you sufficiently get those lessons under your belt, then you move to the lessons of the High Priestess, which are the lessons of the higher realms, the lessons of the universe, and all that stuff. Sorry, pause, I gotta blow my nose. So quite frankly, even though, you know, me and the Hierophant aren't that cool, and the Hierophant does represent Taurus energy too, but even though me and the Hierophant really aren't that cool a lot of the time, it is necessary. And and when I reached a point in life where I was like, okay, you know what, that was fucked up and it sucked and I hated it, but I completely understand why I had to learn that lesson. So thank you, right? So that's what I'm getting with this. The Magician and the Moon, the Hierophant and the Ace of Wands. You learned enough to illuminate what before was hidden or shaded or unclear. Because I do see this wand as inspiration, a torch, a light, okay? Wow. Holy moly. All right, so now let's go here next. Next we have the Eight of Swords, we have the King of Cups, and then we have the Seven of Swords. King of Cups doesn't have to be a man or masculine energy. The King of Cups, I mean, it can be, and if it's symbolizing, if it's representing you and you are a man or a masculine energy, that's great. But it could also represent someone that is feminine in nature, in expression, or a woman, okay? What I'm seeing here, this King of Cups, ultimately, regardless of gender or age, this King of Cups is representing emotional maturity, emotional awareness. But do you see how he's surrounded by, he's sandwiched in between the Seven and the Eight of Swords? The Eight of Swords is a mental prison, feeling trapped. The Seven of Swords is deceit. I'm hearing betrayal. I feel like while you were in this energy here of the devil that you seem to be breaking free from, or someone seems to be breaking free from, you were kind of betraying yourself by not taking responsibility for your own actions, by not being emotionally mature, by not expressing what your true heart's desire is. I'm getting a feeling of someone just really hiding who they really are, or not trying to speak about it, being afraid of it. Now, the other thing that I'm feeling about this, to be honest, excuse me, I feel like someone was doing this intentionally while they built themselves up to this King of Cups energy, this being able to be emotionally mature. And that had a lot to do with the lessons that you were learning here with the Hierophant. And so now it's like you have the confidence to step forward, because then finally you have the Page of Cups, the Ace of Swords, and the Knight of Cups. So it's when you got connected to your inner child, when you reconnected to your sense of innocence, that you had, it is then that you had the experience or the authority or the gall or the balls or the cojones, you know, however you want to put it, to really lead with your heart. Knight of Wands is a messenger. I'm sorry, the Knight of Cups. I see all the Knights as messengers and all the Knights as activations in some way. The Knight of Cups, in my opinion, the Knight of Cups is an activation of your heart chakra. Now, for some of you, you are still stuck here. And actually, that's who this message is for then, really. King of Cups, Eight of Swords, Seven of Swords. It is when you connect with your sense of your inner child, your sense of innocence, your divine connection to source, Page of Cups. And when you allow your heart to move forward, you allow your heart to lead the way. Or you need to get connected with the inner child first, and your sense of innocence. And then that's going to give you the truth. Yes, that's what this is. That's going to give you the truth, the awareness, and the knowledge that you need to then lead with your heart. Knight of Cups. And ultimately break yourself free from this mental prison, this imprisonment between the Seven of Swords and the Eight of Swords. This is probably a message that is very strongly guided or intended for masculine energy, whether you're a woman that resonates more with masculine energy or whether you're a man that resonates more with masculine energy. And I really do feel like this Hierophant energy here is what's keeping someone locked up and not in ways to feel like they can't truly express themselves, and they need to hide who they really are, or hide what they really want, not be truly themselves. Now, underneath the deck, remember, you do have the Devil here, right? But then under the Devil, you have the Hangman, and then under the Hanged Man, you have the Lovers. So this is a major decision that someone is needing to make. I'm going to sneeze. Thank you. Let me sneeze again. Okay. This is a major decision that someone is needing to make. And this all hinges on your ability to choose for yourself. The Lovers is about a choice. And no, I'm not seeing romance here. Even though, yes, we have all these cups. No, this is more about somebody being true to themselves. I'm sorry, hold on a second. Okay, that's better. This is about somebody being true to themselves. This is about somebody making a decision that is right for them. That's what the choice in the Lovers is representing here. Okay. But it's going to it's going to take a change in perspective. The Hanged Man. And the only reason the Devil has this power over you is because you are feeling inadequate. Five of Pentacles. This Devil energy, or I want to say this Hierophant energy, may have really broken you down in some ways that you may feel are irreplaceable. That's not true. You just got to stand up. Page of Swords, Knight of Swords. This lesson has been learned. This cycle is coming to completion. You're ready to graduate, or at least you're getting ready to graduate. Oh, Six of Wands, Ten of Cups. But you have to have the strength. And there you go. There's that Knight of Wands I was talking about before. Knight of Wands. That's the activation. That's the torchbearer. That's the light worker. That's the spiritual warrior. But for whomever this is, you guys, you really have to have the strength to face these feelings of inadequacy here, stand up to them, and cut them away. Do not let this indoctrination to hide who you truly are or what you're truly capable of any longer. And yes, I did just realize that I'm wearing my magician t-shirt and the magician came out here. Okay? You really just have to have the strength to let this go, to cut this away. Because you do, look, underneath that you have the Page of Pentacles. I'm still pulling from the bottom of the deck, y'all. You have the Page of Pentacles here, which is a new start, is a new beginning, which will ultimately lead you to being the King of Pentacles. But you have to take that first step. You can't expect to move from one place, from one space to another without actually moving, right? I mean, even if we're talking about teleporting, you're still moving, okay? You can't stand in one place and expect to get somewhere else. You have to take the steps to get there. Okay. I'm going to get into clarification, but I want to start a new file for that. So hold on just a moment. They're starting work across the next door. Okay, so I want to get into some clarification here. And I have a whole mess of stuff on the table right now. So I'm just going to clarify this middle energy here. I'm gonna give this 5 shuffles, and you know what? I'm just gonna say, give us whatever message you have for us, Spirit, to close this out in terms of the tarot. Final closing guidance, and then we'll get oracle guidance. 2. 3. 4. Whew. And 5. Alrighty. Final closing guidance or message, please, Spirit. Final clarity. Oh. Yeah. Okay, at the bottom of the deck is the 5 of Wands. Alright, we have the Fool that's come out here, and the Fool fell on this stack. The Page of Cups, the Ace of Swords, well, this stack that started out as the Page of Cups, the Ace of Swords, and the Knight of Cups. But then as I was 144, as I was pulling from the bottom of the deck, the Knight of Wands and the King of Pentacles was added to that. Okay, and so the Fool came out and fell out on top of that. And what I was saying about these 4 cards here, well, ultimately these 5 cards, but the 5th card is the King of Pentacles. This is ultimately where you're trying to go. This is where we're leading you, okay? Being well-rooted, well-grounded, safe, and secure in your own energy. King of Pentacles has also come out again, right? In the clarifier, okay. But with this stack, Page of Cups, Ace of Swords, Knight of Cups, and Knight of Wands, you're being asked to take a leap of faith and move in a different direction that's right for you. Get connected with your inner child or sense of innocence, which will give you the truth and knowledge that you need to cut anything away so that you can start leading with your heart and you can start being activated and being a light worker and a torchbearer and a light for others to be an example to live by, right? Okay, but look, here's the other thing, you guys, and true to form, Spirit loves to just dump a bunch of cards on me, but we have the King of Pentacles here, but we also have that with the 10 of Cups in reverse and the 8 of Swords. So this is where the message gets a little bit tricky, because either this King of Pentacles is well-rooted in ways that are blocking your 10 of Cups, or you need to get rooted into yourself. Yeah, I mean, yes, there are systems, or you could have these beliefs or whatever that are pretty well rooted, and that's keeping you blocked off. It's keeping you in this sort of mental prison. But it could also be that you need to really get rooted in a sense of self. Who are you truly? Like, who are you truly, though? What is it that you want? Conformity is holding you back from this. Good Lord, there are so many cards on this table right now, man. I don't even know what to do. I just heard conformity is changing the way you see yourself. Has changed the way you see yourself. Has shaped the way you see yourself. Who are you really? You want to move forward with the Chariot, but you feel like you can't, the 3 of Cups, because you're going to lose a bunch of people, and yet you've been activated, and yet you're keeping that a secret. The Chariot, the 5 of Cups, the Knight of Wands, the 7 of Swords. You're afraid of losing. You're afraid of missing out. For some of you, you're afraid of what your activation, what your true alignment, you being in your true alignment, is going to do to other people around you. Did you miss the part in that sentence where it said your true alignment? I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. But ew. Like, if you can't be your true self around the people that you have around you right now, then what the fuck are you doing with them in your life? Like, what? And then finally, you have the Nine of Swords, the King of Swords, the Emperor. So we're definitely talking masculine energy here. Ain't no queens out here on this table. None. All kings, all right? So this is all masculine energy. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. Masculine energy is action. Masculine energy is authority. Masculine energy is wisdom and intellect. Masculine energy is the protector. Nine of Swords, King of Swords, the Emperor. Someone is facing a situation where they have to see something very, very clearly and then do something about it, and y'all don't know what to do. You have that with Strength, the Three of Pentacles, and the Knight of Cups again. So really, quite frankly, what this is saying here is somebody, and I love that, I really do appreciate that, that this construction that they're doing across the way is happening at this pivotal time. Because think about it, we're constructing. Did I really just... Is that... Oh, sorry, guys. We're building. We're rebuilding our lives. So the message that I'm getting from this, quite frankly, is somebody has got to step up and have the strength to say, y'all, we need to work together to rebuild this so that it's more heart-centered. And I get it. Neither the King of Swords nor the Emperor are really trying to be all that emotional. But quite frankly, what the King of Swords is saying is, y'all, this shit ain't right. And you know this shit ain't right. I mean, look at it. Straight up and down. Front, back, left, right, diagonal. None of this makes sense, does it? None of this looks right, does it? So why don't we do something about it? Have the power and the authority to step up and say, we need to work together as a community to rebuild from a heart-centered space. This is one of those days where morning coffee is like a real blur to me, and it feels like it sounds like it's extremely obscure. I'm doing my best here, y'all. But I guess I'm pretty sure it's making sense to somebody out there, which, okay. I mean, I'm just trying to make sense of it myself, you know? Okay, I think we can stop there. So, let's close this out with some oracle guidance from beyond the mirror. Two more shuffles. Here we go. Whoa. Okay, at the bottom of the deck, you do have your root chakra. The root chakra is your sense of self. It's your sense of ground. It's who you are. I'm hearing it's who you're meant to be in this lifetime, in this world, in this time-space continuum. And quite frankly, y'all, we have been indoctrinated in some ways that, in many, not just some, in many ways, that disconnect us or blind us to, disconnect us from, blind us to, or hide from us the truth of who we really are. And I just heard Spirit say, clear up this energy, because it's not serving you anymore. And you know this for a fact. The card that has come out here is card number 29, Harmonic Flight. And I guess if you want to look at it this way, if you want to say there's a twin flame card in this deck, this would be it. First of all, it's card number 29. Second of all, it's a depiction of, a masculine figure and a feminine figure. Harmonic Flight. Now, I actually have never read this card yet, but that's just intuitively what I get from it. And I mean, just look at it. Right? Okay. Wow. Ooh, y'all, this is a little bit of a long one. Here we go. Harmonic Flight. Seeing the divine in the eyes of another. Relationships with deep bonds. Karmic connection. Clearing illusory projections. Life-changing connection. Transmuting dissonance. Removing heart armor. Being seen. Teamwork. This powerful image represents the divine we see when we look deeply into the eyes of another and our armor drops. When we meet another being present in the moment with no stories, judgments, or insecurities. I felt a little overwhelmed and intimidated when I painted this card, and that's Izzy Ivy, the author of this deck. I wasn't quite ready or didn't fully fathom the message. Then, some months later, I experienced it when I was looking into the eyes of my beloved. Shortly after, I encountered the divine in the eyes of a stranger when space was held for this surrendered openness. When we see the person standing before us as the gods and goddesses that they are, it is a reminder that we are what we perceive in others. But also, when we drop into the mindless space of pure essence, we might see the world seeing us, seeing them, seeing the infinite and eternal, allowing all that is. Let me say that again. But also, when we drop into the mindless space of pure essence, we might see the world seeing us, seeing them, seeing the infinite eternal, allowing all that is. Many people are seeking their twin flame. As life-changing, world-rocking, and unfathomably beautiful finding this soul can be, it is quite possibly one of the most intensely confronting, trigger-provoking, and sometimes painful connections we can have. Those who are most dear to us can bring us to our greatest growth. That is why spending extended periods with our family can be challenging. When we can see and be seen, disarmored and trusting, we can come to deeper love. However, this deepening process can trigger the release of outdated and unhealthy patterns. Thus, shadows may be brought to the surface to heal. When we feel safe in the arms of our beloved, our defenses yield so we fall further into our hearts. However, fear-based reflections or projections can surface in this place of deep vulnerability. Subconscious behaviors, including childhood patterning, can also present themselves. It can seem as if our partner is provoking difficulties, bringing things up, and making it feel like our whole world is about to fall apart. At this point, we may want to retreat, but if we can be truly present, our fears can fall away, and this becomes an expansive experience. When we have a profound twin flame connection that feels beyond worlds and lifetimes, we bond with the other person so strongly that we choose to face the fire when we would usually walk away. Our passion drives us to seek resolution, to heal ourselves, to overcome barriers, no matter how confronting it may seem, because our partnership is worth it. And when we can rise, we rise together. Somehow, incredibly, the universe seamlessly aligns the places the twin flames need healing. Their triggers may be synchronized so that when they feel uncentered or there is codependence or imbalance, it can be a very volatile space. If they find safety in love and they are willing to see and be seen, their triggers can blossom into deep transformative healing for them both. This healing can forge the foundations for long-term companionship. Alternatively, this completion could mark an ending. As the intense potency of a connection neutralizes, the relationship may transform into a different kind of unconditional love. Harmonic flight shows us that when we harmonize our energies with that of another in any form of relationship, we can soar to the sky. We can guide each other higher and higher by encouraging all that has been weighing us down to drop away. Divinatory meaning. What you see in the eyes of another is a reflection of yourself. This card may be encouraging you to look at the bigger picture of a close relationship. A perceived challenge may be an illusion or projection. This card may relate to family, teamwork, community, and ways you can harmonize dissonance for deeper growth. The bonds you share give you the power to transmute your fears. Put time and awareness into resolving harmonic connections, or they will continue to play out. There may also be a life-changing connection on the horizon. Wowie, wow, wow, wow. There you have it, kids. I'm going to leave it there. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I look forward to connecting with you again for our next cup of coffee tomorrow morning. Yeah? Take care. Bye.